I'm a girl on fire, I'm not a victim, a girl on fire, I'll stand my ground, girl on fire, I've made a choice, I stand proud, I'm a girl on fire.
That's why I'm still a warrior. I have to keep fighting. But it feels like it's killing me.
And I choose to defend all that I hold dear. Independent and strong, you will not keep me down. You can't break me. I'm a girl on fire. I'm not a victim. A girl on fire. I'll stand my ground. Girl on fire. I've made a choice. I stand proud.
Speak out now.
Countless hours on the range, I am responsibly armed. I am your equal.
Lynette Oxley here for Tac Shack Tactical TV and Gosa Girls on Fire, 16 days of action for no violence against women and children. Today I'm here with an absolutely extraordinary woman who turned deep personal tragedy into a legacy of justice and empowerment. Retired Colonel Joyce Buthelezi is not only one of the South Africa's most respected detectives with a 100% conviction rate, but a woman who has truly risen like a phoenix from heartbreak and injustice. Her life story reflects resilience, purpose, and the unwavering fight for the truth. She proves that ordinary women can truly do extraordinary things. It's an honor to feature her during our 16 days of action and as a nominee for our Krista Swart Fighting Spirit Award. Welcome, Joyce, and thank you very much for seeing me.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with a very general question. Who's Joyce Buthelezi? Where did you grow up, and what shaped you into the woman that you are today?
Joyce Buthelezi is a girl that grew up in Pietermaritzburg, KZN. I'm a first-born daughter of my father, Raifet Gwaziwake Zondi, and my mom, Grace Bakulu Zondi. For schooling, I did my schooling. You know, my father was a minister of the Word of God, meaning she was a Dutch Reform reverend. So with the job that he was doing, he was moving all over the country. When I started my schooling, it was in Tannhauser. The primary school was Fabrice. From there, we moved to Nkandla. We stayed there, but there were no schools because I had to go and stay with my granny in Durban to finish my primary school. And then coming to high school, I had to go to a boarding school. My father took me to a boarding school in Kwanongoma called Umlogoto High School. Then from there, I couldn't finish there because my father and my mom moved again to a township called Empopomeni in Harwich, where I matriculated in Harwich Secondary School. In 1985, I was doing my matric. Then my intention was to go and study to be a social worker at University of Zululand. And then that was the arrangement between myself and my parents. Unfortunately, I think during the May, my father became very, very sick. I can't remember the sickness, but he was very sick. And then I could see the money that was used to take my father for the medication and stuff. Then I realized that my dream, slowly but surely, it was disappearing of going to university the following year. Then without discussing it with my parents, I realized that I need to look for another option without telling them. Then I realized that we are 6 in the family. I'm the eldest. If I take the last money that we had, now that my father was not feeling well, it will jeopardize the future of my younger siblings. Then in 1986, I joined the police.
How did that happen?
What happened is that I used to read the newspapers. You know, those days there were no
Online
TV, stuff like
Exactly.
that. So I used to buy, my father used to buy the newspaper. We've got the famous newspaper in KZN that was called Ilanga. So I used to go and buy my dad the newspaper, and then at the back I will be reading any interesting stuff about. And to be honest, in those years it was not as much as now to get the job. But then a friend of mine who was already here, who is no longer with us, Nomsango Malo, she was working at Woolworths as a manager there in Johannesburg. Then we discussed my ordeal of not going to university. Then she said, no, you must come to Joburg and then we can see what you can do. Then I came to Joburg. And then while I was with her in her flat, we heard about Alexandra looking for police to be hired. That's how I got this job. It was on the 27th of November, 1986. Also, what I saw, the fact that I was speaking Zulu, I was at the advantage because what I was told that they were trying to have all the people speaking all the languages. The majority was Sesotho, Tsonga, and they were looking for Xhosa speaking and Zulu speaking. So it worked on my own advantage. Then I got the job.
I'm going to stop you there because we can go, I want to go a little bit back. Your parents had a massive influence on you, and you love them very much from what I can gather. What is the most important lessons that you take from your parents that's made a difference? You also said your mom was one of your biggest inspirations. Can you talk a little bit about that? I'm sorry, I didn't want to make you cry. But what...
I'm sorry.
But they were a great inspiration for you, am I correct?
You know, the thing that I learned from my mom and my dad was the love, first of loving the people. You love people not because you are benefiting from them. You just love people. It's a nice thing and the right thing to do. And you open that door of people who can come to you with your problems, not because you can offer them what they are looking for. But that's why I learned from my parents how to offer yourself to people, to talk to you about what they are going through, and how to make people feel better, especially in giving them hope, you know. My mom and my dad, they were not rich people. We were a very struggling.
I'm so sorry, Joyce.
Can I get the tissue?
You're more than welcome. You said they made you able to listen to people because they taught you how to listen to people, and that came through for your whole career because that is how you actually dealt with people. Am I correct?
I can say that it's not even telling me how to, you know, there's a difference in telling a person how to behave, and also to see someone role modeling that thing he's talking about to you. I'll see young couples who have just got married, and then they will be coming and speaking, asking for guidance, you know, not that maybe there was war, like domestic violence that we see these days. They will be like, Daddy, Mommy, we've just got married, we like to be guided how to, you know. And I'll look at my parents. I've never seen a person. Remember, my home was a home for everybody because there was not even a making of an appointment for people to come to my home. Sometimes, like I'm saying, the couples will come without an appointment. My father and my mom, they will sit and advise where they advise, and then there will be those who will come with problems of making them to cry. You will see them coming in the house crying, but leaving laughing, you know. Those are the things that I miss them a lot about, because even us, you know, as a child, you come from the street with a problem of saying, so-and-so is bullying me and those things. There will be, I've never seen my father saying, let's go and deal with him. No. Instead, they will tell you how to help that person. That person is having a problem. Don't be like him or like her. She's having a problem. Show her love. Show him love. You'll see then that bullying and stuff will, and it was working. And then that kind of behavior, I'll say, it was well role modeled by my parents to me and my younger ones. So all I can say to you, Lynette, my emotions are brought by, like, I feel like now I have time, like I've retired. I have time now. How I wish they were still here so that I can give back to them to say, now I've got time. Let's go to this place. Let's do this. Because what was my prayer all along was like, I don't want to die. God help me not to die. I don't want my parents to bury me. Because I remember in most of my father's prayers was like, we're doing prayers. It was a norm. It was how we were brought up. In the evening, 7 o'clock, there's a prayer. Wherever you are, you must run before 7 o'clock, because if the prayer starts, you are not there, you are in big trouble. That's when you'll see that my father, he as good as he is bad. So yeah, one of the prayers that I won't forget even today was that God help me not to bury any of my children. So indeed, my father died without any one of my siblings dying. And those are the things, like you say, I was prayed for. And then now, even on that day, I remember that day when I left home to take a train from Pietermaritzburg to Johannesburg. Oh, that prayer is still in my ears. That song that was sung on that day is still in my ears. And I know that it carried me through all these years to know, because the last word that my father said, go and represent my family well.
Wow.
So
what a privilege to have had parents like that. Joyce, you're going to make me cry. It's an absolute, and sometimes the one thing my father taught me is you always have to look at the happy things and the things that's good that came out of that. And I think it gave you such a good basis for that made you who you are.
it did.
So
It did.
So, what changed? You were a policewoman in Alex. You were Zulu speaking, and then you met this man, Jabulani, that was also Zulu speaking, And that was your first point of contact, if I'm not correct.
It's so funny because what drew me to him, when you are arriving in a place where they are speaking the language that you don't understand, because honestly, I never understood a word of Sotho. So you hear someone speaking Zulu, and the Zulu that that is not from here, this is original.
Yes.
Zulu from KZN. And then he's coming to you, Sawubona, Unjani, Uphuma apha ekhaya. I mentioned the town from Pietermaritzburg. Oh, mina ngiphume Lady Smith, Lady Smith, that thing. It was not about, but that friendship that started. And then I did not know that he did not even know Sotho. He was also struggling, but I believe that because he was there longer than me, what he was teaching me, because he was teaching me, if they're saying this, I mean this, you must be careful, they must not gossip about you in your presence. And it was like that. And then fast forward, we became friends. I don't want to lie. A very caring someone. Have you eaten? Have you, let's go. I saw there is a special in such and such place. Let's go and have food there. I don't know that I can't even remember the story of love, how it started, because we were so...
It was friendship and that...
Because we were even talking about how our families are struggling. It was easy, to say, I'm here for my family. I said to him, my father, I was supposed to go to university. And then, and he was always laughing about it. Thank God you did not have money to go to university, because now I have a friend,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was easy to share our struggles with him. I remember even we started to do a stokvel, me and him. Like the money we were earning, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. It was so little.
It was also a long time ago. We were about the same age. I can remember my first salary.
So we came with a plan to say, because we could see that our struggles were more or less the same. He was not a firstborn like myself, but he was a firstborn in the boys. So the family was looking at him like, the savior when it comes to poverty and stuff. So we will receive letters. I'll receive letters from my family, and then I'll be reading. And if there's a problem they're talking about, I will share with him. Same with,
vice versa.
Yes. Then that's when now we started to say, how can we help how can we assist our parents? That's when he came with this thing of sharing their salaries in this way. This month I will take half of my salary and she will take half of his salary, putting them together. It is a little bit more than sent to his home.
Okay.
Then the next month we are not doing anything of that. Then we get a break of 1 month. The third month we do the same, taking money to
your
my
family.
home. Yeah, it was like that. So the trust now I had. I never shared this with anybody, but I was like, oh, this man, how can he understand who I am and stuff like that?
That's a big trust for somebody that to share your money with them, because if you're not married.
Yes. So along the line, love happened, and then the trust, and then I started to tell my parents after falling in love with him to say, I found this man, and then she's a good person. I never told about what you are doing with money. He's always encouraging me to take care of you guys. And then my father said, I wish to meet this guy one day. And then an arrangement was made. We went home. My father fell in love with him. He prayed for us, and then he said, nothing will separate us. And then he made us to kneel down, hold hands. I think it was a 2 days visit, because those days we were not allowed to go, home for a long time. And then the letter was written by my husband to my father without me knowing, that I want to pay lobola for your daughter. I love her and stuff like that. And then my father arranged everything. Then one of the good days, it was December holidays, he sent the family, and he was also there to pay lobola for me. We married, and then we were blessed with these 2 kids, my son and my daughter, and then the rest is history.
Yeah.
But while everything was so nice, our love was I could see my father in him. I don't know about him, what he was seeing in me, but I could see my father, everything. The love, respect, understanding,
Yeah.
And then, I remember it was 1994, beginning of 1994. We married on the 17th of October 1989. Remember, I joined the police in 86, and then 1989 October, we got married. And then in 1990 February 27, we were blessed with my son. And then in 1992, we were blessed with my daughter. But if you remember how our country was then, that was towards democracy, how violent everything turned up to be.
And Alex was a dangerous place.
Alex was very dangerous. In fact, the whole Gauteng became dangerous.
Yeah.
The whole Gauteng, all the townships, you can name them. And then I remember there was a decision that we took to say, you see what is happening. In fact, when we started to talk about the rearrangement of taking the children home in order for us to work alone, it was after the incident of Shell House, when the Zulus were marching there, and then there was a shooting in town. So she said, that the Johannesburg is becoming dangerous. Remember, we were taking kids to the preschool because they were very young, and then go home, take them from preschool, and then she said, the way I see things, maybe one day we won't even be able to go back and check kids. So the best thing, let us arrange that you take kids home. Then myself and him, we went to our station commander at Alexandra. We sat down with him to say the way we see things, and then she said, okay, I'm allowing you to go. I remember it was the Easter of 1994. And she said, okay, he took me to the bus. I left with kids, not knowing it was my last day to
see him.
Then he called me, he said, I'm gonna come, join you guys. And now I'm happy because my kids are safe and you are safe. I'm gonna come because the station commander said, I must come back with you. But she's giving me a few days to rest because it's Easter. So, yeah, each and every Easter it is a reminder. But there is nothing I can change. And I was so angry. I was so angry with God. I was so angry with life, with nature. How come a good person like that can die just like that when she has got so much to offer? He was a hard worker at work. He was a good father. But anyway, it happened.
Somebody killed him, and when they caught him, he basically said your husband was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's what he said. And it made me so angry. And the worst thing, the case was investigated. I was not a detective then. I was not. The case was investigated, and my husband, I was happy with the investigation, although I was not a detective then. But I was given feedback. This is what we found, the guy who pulled the trigger. And then the hope was there. I was at court, following the case coming to court. The prosecutor, advocate, Johanna van der Bijl, unfortunately, she also died brutally when she was trying to give food out to the homeless in one of the squatter camps. She was murdered brutally. But then when the case was at court, I could see she was giving all, Then, coming to the judgment, the judge said, I've listened to all the evidence that has been brought before me, but there is no evidence that is saying this guy before me is the one who pulled the trigger. Because of that, I found him not guilty and discharged him. If I did not die that day, that was the day I took a decision to understand the pain the citizens of this country are going through when their case are lost at court, when they had hoped that, I can't blame the judge, I can't blame the detective, I can't blame anybody. I couldn't blame anybody. But I just felt the pain was too much. I saw him standing. He never stood the same time, like to say, he said for a while, this guy. And those who were supporting him went to him on the dock, lifted him up, so joyfully. And myself and my advocate, who was a prosecutor, Johan van der Been, we were so sad. I cried. We cried. And then I said to her, I know you tried everything. Don't blame yourself. The investigating officer, I know her name, it was Warrant Officer Nell from Israel, the murder and robbery. He also came to say, Joyce, I tried. I said, I know, you tried. I saw you try. And then that was it. And I spoke to my station commander of the time to say, I want to be a detective. He said, but I said, no, I want to be a detective. Please take me to all the necessary training so that I'll become a detective. There was something that was planted in me to say, oh my God, this is how the families are feeling when their cases are lost in court. You know, you take an oath with yourself, you know, that kind of an oath that you take with yourself to say, if I can be given a chance to be, you know, a detective, this is what I will do, this is what, you know. Because listening to the judgment, you listen to the judgment, to the judge, whatever she's saying, but at the same time, you say, okay, if it is me, I want to 1, 2, 3. Then by God's grace, I got the opportunity to become a detective. I never looked back, Lynette.
I think it was pivotal in what you became. And I'm sorry that I touched on this, but it is so important to see why you became what you became. And you had 100% conviction rate, which is absolutely amazing. Before we move on to more positive stuff, somebody did come and fetch you, and your husband's murderer did die in a shootout with the police. Am I correct?
Captain Park, yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, what I heard, you know, was that there's this thing in the townships when you win a case of this nature, you are respected in your world of criminals. You are this big gun, you know. You kill the police, you went to high court, you win the case. You understand what I mean? So what I heard during my own investigations was that he was made one of the bosses in one of the circles of the criminals of the business robberies. So it happened that him and the group, they went to rob the bank, one of the banks. I'm not going to name the bank, one of the banks in Kempton Park. And then when the police came, surround the bank, he started to shoot at them. And then we all know what happened when he shoot at the police. So they got him. And during that time, we had a very strong highway patrol. Flying squad.
Squad, yes.
Yeah. Flying squad, it was not playing with the criminals. So he was killed. But now because the investigating officer was also, he couldn't forget about what happened to me at court, the way I cried and stuff. I think maybe they realized that this is the guy that won the case. I don't know. I was sitting at work, and then it was towards the knock of time, and I saw the guy came. It was my first time to see the guy. A very tough guy. One of our colleagues said, I can't remember, Warren so and so. I want to take you somewhere where you'll find peace and the closure about the death of your husband. So I was so worried. I thought because my kids were still at preschool, I thought did anything happen to my children? He said, no, it's not about your children. Come with me. I wasn't there. I was taken in the car. They drove with me. You know the speed. I'm not going to tell you. Until now, we arrived at Boxback Mortuary. I mean, Boxback or Jimstein Mortuary. But it was a mortuary. Then I heard him saying, I found her telling the authorities there, please open for us. Then I said, no, I'm not going in. He begged me. Then he opened, the door. I saw the guy that killed my husband. I said, God, what more do I want except to praise you? Hey, I thanked the guy. I said, you know what? I don't remember, but I know that he said to me, your tears were wiped today. So go on with your life, knowing that God has gave you the best justice ever. Then he took me back. That was how I had a closure. So I'm not happy because he was killed, no. But I'm happy because I knew that my kids will grow up without having to meet him or interact with him, or because you don't know this life, how far it can take you. I wanted him not to be around, whether in prison or wherever, but not to be seen by much, not to be the story of him, not to be told, to be just cut. The way my husband's story was cut so short. It wasn't a revenge, but it was something that I was longing for. So you can never ever ask me, when it comes to my complainant or my victims, how they feel about crime committed to them. I know very well. I know what they need. I know what they are going through in that time of waiting for justice to be served. So I understand them better. That is why I know what I need to do to give them the justice that they deserve.
So, your career, it's not always easy for women, I'm sure, in the police, in South African police services. But you were so successful. Tell us a little bit about going to JP Stan, is that the right word?
Yes, JP.
And then your education that you took further with Gerard Labuschagne, Professor Dr. Gerard Labuschagne, a mutual friend of ours. And how did your career move into a direction where you were one of the best detectives that South Africa has ever seen?
Let me just say this, with the motivation that I was explaining to you now. South African police service is a very difficult career. Yes, you've got the commanders who are saying, don't do this, do this, don't do this. But at the end of the day, when now you become a detective, you are on your own. You are on your own in which way? You are on your own in the sense that when the case is brought to you, it is booked out to you, now with your name, meaning whatever you are doing with this docket, it is you, the good and bad. Yes, the commander is there, or the supervisor is there, but because it's got your name, even on the system, case number 24 of 10/2020 is for Sergeant Buthelezi, that is me. Meaning everything that I'm doing that is in here, I've got to answer to this. So now I'm talking about now, you can be a detective, but remember, you choose to be who you want to be. Do you want to be a person that received the case and say, oh, it's one of those, or you want to treat each and every case as if it is the first one you receive? I won't forget that my first docket was a shoplifting of one of the supermarkets in Alexandra, where a man, but yeah, as much as it was a small sentence of, if I'm not 100 rand or 20 days in prison, even after closing it, finalizing it, I wanted to keep it without, after closing the matters, we take them to the store. But it was like this baby of mine.
Yeah.
But I learned that each and every case, each and every victim that comes your way, this victim that I'm here with today is not going to be the same with the victim that I'm going to be with tomorrow. So I can't say I'm so used to. You cannot say that. Because once you are saying that, that's where you will go wrong. But if each and every victim is a new client, it's like when you're having a business. This is the new client that I'm having. He's coming with his own or her own traumas. So everything is new. So that this is what has helped me to be able to understand that each and every person, nobody wants to be a victim. Nobody asked for it. It just happened. So I must give my all. I can't say because yesterday I've got the victim of rape or of murder, I'm meeting another victim of murder, in the sense that I'm meeting the family that has lost the person. Or they will understand the way I will do the same, the way I was dealing with the family of yesterday murder. It doesn't work like that. Circumstances will never be the same. Yes, the crime, I can have 10 rapes, dockets, but all these victims are not the same. They might have gone through the same, but sitting down with them, you'll hear that they are not the same. That is why I always say to people, forget about, but I've done everything. I can't find the suspect. It does not work like that. Go walk with a victim, walk with the person, so that even if you will fail, although I don't think how you fail, even if you will fail, you must fail with the person to say, let the person say, but I saw. With my husband case, I always said, they tried, I've seen them trying, because they pulled me through to say, now we are at this stage, now, yes, I was not a detective to could have seen maybe if there were flaws, I don't know. But the fact that I was given all the step of the way until the end, I was satisfied. This is what is helping us to get everything. That also helps you to say, I've got this evidence. You're opening a door. Remember, the victim is the one that saw and felt the pain and see. If the victim is coming to you,
about how, because one of the other questions is how you often build strong relationships with victims. How did you manage that time between empathy and professionalism?
my God.
So it's a difficult one.
It is difficult because these things, they happen naturally. You don't plan them, to happen. I always say, building the rapport, it's a matter of must. It's not about, because how are you going to work with a person if a person does not trust you? Because it all starts with a trust. And once a person is trusting you, she or he will tell you the things that he was not planning to tell any other person. Remember, when you are a detective, you receive a docket. Most of the time that maybe the statement was given, was taken by somebody else, not you. You receive the docket, already there is a statement. You read the statement, this is what happened to me, this is how it happened to me. But now, as you go along with the person, there are things that they come naturally to say, you know what, I did not want to tell everything the way it happened. This is what, because now it is your investigation stage and this is your preliminary. I'm not going to tell much of how I was doing my things, but one of the things that I will be calling a victim for. Today we're not talking about the case, please, I don't want to stress you, but how are you today? How are you feeling? How it has been after this,
It's empathy.
Exactly. So I'm calling because when she sees or he sees my number, we are going to talk about the case. But for one day, I'll be like, say, you know what? Today we're not talking about the case. We're talking about you. And then you get those gigglings and the stuff. Most the young ones. If we are talking to a young person,
your boyfriend, did you discuss this with your boyfriend? Do you want me to tell your boyfriend? Do you want your boyfriend to know about what happened? Did you discuss this with your husband, your children? Do you want them to know? So what God has done, you found people there in that stage now where they want someone in the family, but they don't know how to, So I've seen God using me in that part of saying, please, can you do that for me? Please. That will be,
Yeah, but that's a sum of what your parents and your history made you that person that can have that empathy.
I'm hoping so, yes, I'm hoping so.
So tell me, how did you get involved in sexual offences and your first case? Because how did you get to that birthday rapist? Because that was your first big case, am I correct?
It was.
But it was just after you went and did some extra studying. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, when I was at GP police station, it was when I arrived at GP in 2005. During that time, our child protection units were closed when they were not operational. And then in 2006, the new branch commander that arrived at the station, Brigadier Singh, said, what are we going to do with these rape cases that are coming in? Because now we don't have the units that are specializing. And then I said to him, can you give me to try? I've never done rape cases, but let us try and see. Because we are dealing with domestic violence cases. But let us try and see if we cannot see what needs to be done. And then I will try by all means to work hand in hand with the prosecutors. Hence my relationship with Karina Kutsia, because he's an expert in that, no doubt about it. And then
also an awesome strong woman.
Very strong woman. So the guidance was coming from NPA and our branch commander and us. We were trying to make things work. And then that was the first thing that we did. And then all the cases that were coming, we were guided strictly by the NPA because we had no training. Then in 2009, the first serial rape case that came. Then because I love to read a lot, I've already knew about Gerard Labuskakni. There is this guy that is, Then if I'm not mistaken, I read about him in the magazine called Servamas, the police magazine.
Yeah.
Then I went to Pretoria looking for him, and then I couldn't find him. Then I got the numbers. And then I called him. He came in 2009, he came to Jeppes Town. And then we had a meeting with him and my branch commander. But already, Shem, to be honest with you, this is a story with this serial rapist that was operating at a taxi rank. At GP, in town, when people were traveling from wherever, maybe from Limpopo, coming to Joburg, staying in the area of Jeppes Town, during that time, the taxis will be finished by 6, 7 o'clock. Then whosoever is coming after that time, there is no more transport. And then this guy was operating from that time. Will be saying, okay, you're looking for a taxi going to Jeppes Town. Okay, there is a taxi that is there waiting for you guys who are coming, But we have no skill of how to deal with this kind of investigation. But now I said to the ladies, let's do this. Let us try to take one lady, try to move around. I remember weaving with the team of all detectives at GP. We booked one night. We tried to see if we can put our beautiful girl with a bag as if, kind of. It did not work on that night. We don't know whether we did not do it right or the guy spotted us. We don't know. But after Gerard Labuskakni came, he said, no, I see what you are doing, but you need the training with this. So what he did for me, he arranged for me first the training for family violence and sexual offences, FCS, which was in January 2010. I attended it. Then now I was trained, I'm fine. Then in August 2010, then I went to his course which was called Psychologically Motivated Crimes course that was run strictly by him. While we were busy now in the course with him, my team from JP came to say, hey, there is a guy that is raping the university student. I laughed about it. I said, how do you know? Yeah. You know, how do you know it's but now, with now what I was learning, it became so easy. Like, oh my God, this guy is busy. And these guys are telling the truth. I remember one weekend we had a meeting, all of us, to say, bring the dockets that you have, let us see. Then Gerald was there. Gerald played a very big role in the birthday serial rapist. It was my first huge investigation that I had to do.
I think it was
I was fully depending on him. After doing everything, he was able to assist me in appointing a person at biology who's going to be dealing with these cases. We got Yolanda van der Merwe. I don't know whether you know her. She dedicated herself to looking at every case that was coming. We'll be communicating. Yolanda, he did it again. He did it at such and such place, put together. Then Gerard came with something that helped us in our psychologically motivated crime course. There is something that we were trained how to use media in your investigation, something that I had no knowledge of. He was saying you must learn to use the media, because the media, once they say the word, everybody listens to it. It's either in the radio, the newspaper, the TV. Then, because now we knew that we were working with the same person, the identification was there. The name that he was using, although it was a fictitious name, but he was using the same name of Zamani for all the cases that then Gerard came with the thing. Oh, again, the person who was the provincial commissioner then, it was General Petros, Mzandile Petros at the provincial, Gauteng provincial office. He also gave us the big support. He said, whatever you need, whatever resources, we need to stop this guy from raping the university student. Remember now, the parents were spitting fire, which was understood that they're supposed to. The girls were coming from all over the country, coming to, because he did it at the University of Pretoria, UJ, all the universities you can name of in Gauteng. Then Gerald said, no, we need a press conference. We need a media to assist us to spread the word. Then I said, please, because I'm busy with putting everything together, handle the media for me. Then there was a media press conference. She handled it, and then everything. Then the following day, I think the media conference was on the 8th of November. Those dates are very important. I won't forget them. 8th of November, 2010. Yes, 2010 November, 8 November 2010. The following day, calls, because he left his number and my number. Calls started to come in, but there was one special call that led us to the place of the suspect and left us to another person who became our informer. Then Gerald said, we need more resources. We went to the now provincial commissioner to say, General Petros, we need more now resources. We know who is the person, we know what he is, but we need more that intelligence support, which was given to us. Cut a long story short, he left because unfortunately what we tried to do, we passed, I'm not going to give the details, but we missed him with an inch. Then he went to Durban. We followed him to Durban. Our informers, we now started to say, because now he's a known person. Others were saying, I even know the grand. We all know. There's one thing that I can tell you about our Zulu suspects. Where they run first is home. They run home. That's what with my experience, they ran home. And then we followed him. Then on the 12th of November, early hours, we arrested him in Wamaj. Brought him back. for him to account. I want to tell you something. The story of creating the rapport is not only about the victims, also with the suspects. I always say to people, once the suspect is arrested, is under your authority. We have, taken out all that power and stuff. I had discussions with him to say, you are a naughty boy. He was laughing like, oh, okay, this is how you want to play it. He would laugh. Now he's telling me about all the tricks. I'm asking him, why did you leave? Why did you leave and went to Durban? She said, no, I was in a taxi. And then after the press conference, yes, she was in a taxi. And then he saw that people were reading the newspaper. Most the newspaper that is mostly read is Daily Sun. She saw people reading Daily Sun, and everybody was reading and looking at him. And he was still wearing that cap that is on the media. She said, no, I realized something was wrong. People were reading and looking at me. Then he asked the driver to drop, and then he went to buy the Daily Sun. That's when you saw that, oh my God, I'm on the first page.
You got a photo from one of the
ladies at the University of Pretoria, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I can see, when you talk about these cases, I can see why you must have been very scary to the perpetrators, because I can see your mind working, and it is something, catching that criminals was obviously something that was important to you.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And
also not to judge them, so that you can get what you are looking for. The approach of saying, I'm Colonel Buthelezi, I'm investigating the case. I'm not saying you did it. I'm going to hear from you if you did it or not. By so saying, already you have received what you are looking for. And then, I've just arrested you today. I'm not going to talk to you today. It's been a whole day. It's been a hell of a job arresting you. You tried this and this. Just rest for today. Tomorrow we can talk. Remember, anything you want to tell me, you are free to tell me. You want a lawyer, all those things. I'm the person that you are. So coming back tomorrow, you'll see that there is that thing. She's still learning, trying to, trust you or not. And the first thing that is a constitutional right anyway. Do you want anyone to know that you are arrested? Who is the person? Your girlfriend, your wife, your friend? Start there. Is there any person that, I remember the other one who said, my money, we have arrested you. You're still telling us that you left your money. If you can trust me with that, go and take your money in such and such place, and then that man is the money that the police are looking for.
Oh, goodness me.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm trying to say, treating people is not for me to judge. For me, I always tell them, I'm here to arrest you because all the fingers and all my evidence that I'm having is pointing at you. I'm going to give you a chance to have a lawyer, tell your story to a lawyer. I don't know how many of them have said, when it comes to bail, yeah, I've got my lawyer. I want to come out of this nonsense. I did not do it. But at the end of the day, Mama, I'm leaving this thing of bail. You get your confessions not planning to get your confession by me treating a person in a way that he feels compelled to tell the truth. Not to feel compelled to confess. Confession is not my thing. But I love it when a person is saying, call me a lawyer. I just want to say something to the lawyer, okay? Then you get that thing of saying, this person wants to admit. Then I will be telling the lawyer, you know what to do. But in that thing, even on the day of the sentence, when she's getting whatever life, like, other way, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but this is my truth. The way we became so close with the birthday rapist, of working with him every day, telling you the things. I've disappointed my granny, my mom died, my father died. Granny was looking up to me as an intelligent boy. She was hoping that I'll, on the last day, when we were planning to celebrate the sentence, because it was a high sentence, 39 life, 2 years, the way he cried, he made me cry, because
Empathy.
he cried like, and the girls now also cried because he was crying.
Oh my goodness me.
It was a mess of a thing. We all cried. We planned there was a cake that was donated to us to celebrate. I can't remember, but it was a certain bakery that they were following. It was a cake that was followed by everybody. Then the lady baked the cake. We never fetched the cake that way. We were so sad. We all. And it was the 13th of November.
So that was your first case, but you've done a lot of other cases. Anything else that is a case that was important to you that you would like to mention?
Yes, a lot of them. But what I like with this case is that most of my colleagues, they learn through it. Because remember, the success is not about sentencing someone or maybe taking the glory. It's also about empowering your juniors to know this is how the investigation must be dealt with. This is how the victims of this nature must be treated.
But you also said somewhere you lead by example.
Yes.
And that's how you taught colleagues, and that's the legacy that you've left behind in the police.
I'm really hoping so. One of the cases that touched my heart is the one that I dealt with a baby, a 2-year-old baby. What happened was that in one of the suburbs in Sandton, there was a complex where a nanny.
I know the case because I'm pretty sure I know about that case because Estelle van Staden she also mentioned that particular case that really got to her.
Why it is the case, there are cases, there's a lot of cases that I've dealt with, but the cases that I'm mentioning are the cases that were hard to solve because of the nature of, remember when you come very late to the case to see things that people are not, I'm not saying, I don't want to behave like people are not doing their job, but when you have to dig more, in that case, a child died. A 2-year-old died through strangulation. And the child was under the care of a 14-year-old. Now the 14-year-old is sticking to say the child was jumping on the bed and he fell and died. She is not putting the suspect in the scene. Now it's the 14-year-old and now the baby is dead, the 2-year-old. And there's a strangulation. And there's also rape.
It was a very sad case.
Now you are coming to a case where people are saying, no, it's a inquest, inquest docket, the child. Inquest docket is when a person died naturally. Then no. Now at the thing, postmortem report, I said, I'm waiting to get the postmortem report and interview the person. Then that's when I met Dr. Hessel to say, no, this is what happened. The child was molested and then the child was strangled. Now I'm going back. Remember, I've got only one witness who must tell me the truth.
The 14-year-old girl.
Yes. I've spoken to her. She's told me about the jumping on the bed and stuff like that. Now I'm going back to her with evidence, but still with that empathy. But now the empathy is having a pinch of saying, listen to me, my girl. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want the child to be scared of me, but also I want the child to know that the nonsense that he has been telling me, it ends up here today.
Serious.
Then I said to the child sitting at the Sandton police station, I think it was 7 in the evening, speaking to the child, now I know that you lied to me. That was my approach. I don't know why, but now that I know that you lied to me, there's going to be the consequences of lying. I am leaving. It was just 5 minutes. I'm leaving now. I'm going home. But I want to tell you that now I know you lied to me. Then I left. The parents that were there like, but before I could reach my home, the call came to say, come back. The child is asking you to come back. Then she told me the truth that
It was
so and so came, this is what
one
happened.
of the security guards, if
Yes,
I remember right,
yes,
from the
it
gate
was
security guards.
Yes, so everything. So I'm trying to say to you, those are the cases, if I did not press that way, it was going to be like, then it's another case, the child was.
And there would be no justice.
Exactly. And then what was going to happen to the next child? Because in that complex, there were other children.
Absolutely.
You understand? Also, there was a trust. They love him. The people, they will bring him food,
Because he looked like a very nice man.
Exactly.
And sometimes the worst of them are the people that look like nice.
Yeah. Even when you on the day of, he was so angry with me. You can't arrest me and let me sentence for a person who is not even a South African. It made me so angry. You did this because these people are not South Africans. So what? So
Person.
yeah, but yeah, it's one of those cases. Also, that one, unfortunately, I think I work on it alone because it was a very sensitive matter. It was a matter of saying, even with my bosses were saying, why can't you leave it? Because there's nothing there. There's nothing, when you do your own, being in trouble for continuing with something that you were told, leave it, But I did not know why the child, I couldn't understand why the child was lying at the first time. But Gerald also assisted me in coming and give testimony to say what was happening in the mind of the child because of the fear that he had after the perpetrator said, you dare say this is what will happen to you, Yeah, that's one of the cases. I don't know how many cases you are looking for, and then there is a serial rapist that, I became a person that was, I won't be saying I was an expert, that was now experienced when it comes with dealing with the cases of serial murders, serial rapes. Now I was getting more detectives coming to be, Then I said to Gerald, the best thing it will be now, let us try by all means to make an awareness about this cause because this cause sharpened me. So let us spread the word to say in SAPS we've got this, because not all of these SAPS members were aware of our cause, and that cause was able to equip me a lot. And then in Durban there was a serial rapist that was, I received the news in 2016. Can you imagine? The serial rapist had started operating in 2008 when I was looking at the cases, because I said, bring me the cases and then I'll look at them. I look at the cases. The last one was 2016 when the children were from the study group. The serial rapist was staying with them. He was a security guard of the company in Pinetown. She was staying in the township called Waterloo. So it was easy for him. He was staying there. He was working in Pinetown, it's not far. But now, because when you are investigating the case of the serial rape, the identification is so important. With the Mlungisi Mjali, they always said he had an operation. And then you must know, even when you arrest, the things to look for. You understand? But with this one, it was at night most of the time. But the boots, the police boots, the black boots, shiny. So at first we were looking at, are we dealing with our colleague here? Or who is this person? There's a gun, there's shiny boots. Are we dealing with a person? We tried to, the surrounding police station, to do our own investigation until we were able to find out that it's a security guard. Then also he was one of my darling suspects, I would say, without fear, because immediately after arrest, I went to him to say, Baba, because he's old than this kid that he was raping, Baba, why why did you do this? Then he said, I don't know. Please help me. By me saying, please help me, I said, no, I've got this one. Which means it's the right suspect, because you have to look at, through the conversation. You don't need an hour. You know that this is the right person. We also went for bail application at Verulam Court, where he abandoned the bail. I've never seen so many women coming forward to celebrate the woman who was coming from Pretoria to rescue them. It was like streets were closed in that small town of Verulam. Just for bail opposed. And then they started and then the case was transferred to Durban High Court. At Durban High Court, on the day of starting the trial, he just said, no, I'm not taking the trial. I want to plead guilty.
Plead guilty.
And then the sentence was done, 395 years. That was it.
Joyce, you've made a difference in so many people's lives. Not to be in the same situation as you were. It did cost you personally a lot. I'm sure you've missed family days. You talk about your daughter's matric farewell, because sometimes when these cases happen, you must live, eat and sleep the cases. Am I correct?
The thing is, once you get information that at such time there's going to be this for your suspect, you need to be, because you miss him with an inch, maybe you'll miss him forever. There was a time when Mjali escaped from the petty rapist. Let me not call him by injury, but the petty rapist escaped. I was so sad. I cried. I've been crying for these cases. Like, I remember the prosecutor was saying, what are you going to do now? I said, I don't know. And I think he won't go back where we arrested him. She's going to be somewhere. But also with the support of my colleagues, especially the junior members. Lynette, let me tell you something. The support that I've been getting from my junior members, I don't know. Constables, sergeants, warrants, those are the people. Then when it comes to senior people, I'm not a favorite. Let me just be specific. But with juniors, I'm telling you, when I'm sad, they will know. During the escape, there were those who were saying, yeah, Mjali is gone. Then we're going to see. Because I was just doing my job. But there is that thing of saying, oh, she's too forward. That's why this guy has escaped. How can you say that? How can you say that to a person who can go out there? I won't forget the lady who supported me a lot, Lisa Vayton from UJ. She's a researcher with gender-based violence. She supported me. She said, I know this woman will get him. The victim themselves, we had a meeting after he escaped. They said, nah, Mama, don't worry. We know we're going to get him. I was so scared because there was this quick meeting. They were supposed to be told that this man has escaped. So what now? I couldn't, because the social worker that was sitting with them, Adele Phillips, she said, I said, is it safe to come? He said, no, you can come. They're waiting for you. They are talking there. Immediately I entered the door. He started to cry. And then Adele said, I don't know. But at the end of it all, Mama, we know you are going to get him.
And you did?
It took a weekend.
No, it was not very long.
And it went back to the relationship that you're having with the families of the suspects, because you must also know you have never arrested the whole family. You have arrested one criminal. You still treat them with respect to say, if they want to know what are the charges, you name the charges to the family without fear. Your son is charged with this and this and this. Please come to court. There is a bail. We are opposing bail because of this and this, but come to court. You'll get all the answers. That, it's a lot. Because for Loomis to be rearrested, I was assisted by the family. I'm being honest with you. His own family for what he did.
Because they know that what he's doing is wrong.
Yes.
I can see when I look at you, when you talk about your cases, you must have been a very, very scary opponent for perpetrators. I'm sorry, I can just see that your mind working it. You must have been very scary to perpetrators.
No, not exactly. During the field, yes, on the field, there's no laugh, there's no, You just do what you do. And then, but most of the time is to listen to what your victim is saying. Listen, read the statement, understand, and then after arrest, because people, they don't understand, the work starts immediately after arrest. Then it's the beginning now, because you need to prove this is the person. How do you link a person to the crime scene? How do you link a person? Without that, as much as you have a person 100% sure, we've got nothing. So there is no way you can work as a person individually alone. You need people. You need the family members. You need his friends to talk to you. Open that door of the friends talking to you. You'll find friends saying, but we've been warning this way to stop this nonsense. It's enough for you. Absolutely. It's enough for you. So how we treat people in whatever circumstances, I think also who you are, it helps you to win your cases.
Absolutely.
Nothing more.
I'm now going to just ask you, I read somewhere you gave some advice to women out there. So for the 16 days of action, what advice can you give to women out there? You had some points like trust your instincts, those type of things. How do you avoid becoming a victim?
You know, I always separate the two, in a sense that when I'm talking to the victims who are young, who are not married, and also when I'm talking to the married woman. First, if you are a girl, like I've got a daughter, you know what is right for you. You know, there's nobody that knows. I can love a man for my daughter, but my daughter knows what she wants. I always say, what you like, if it's no more the way it's supposed to be, just leave it. Just leave it. It's not about being beaten, or beating will come after, but what it is yours, you know it very, 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 very well. That's what I always tell the girls, that you met this guy, you fell in love with this guy. Something is changing, and your instinct will never lie. If there's something that is changing, if there is a revelation of something that was hidden, it was hidden, now it is clear. It is coming out for a reason for you to take a decision. Take a decision right there. And then to the married couples, I always say, don't tell me about the child. Don't tell me about the stability. You can't say to me, I'm staying in this marriage for the sake of stability. What kind of stability if a person is beating you? If a person is belittling you? If a person is saying whatever you want to say in the presence of these children that you are saying you are looking for the stability for them, what kind of stability we are talking about? Especially to those who are not working. I always encourage them, come, let's sit and talk. What you can do in as far as starting now to generate your own income. Because there was a norm that I'm not working, if I'm leaving, what's going to happen to me?
The financial...
No, that was used long time ago, but we have passed that one, because we are saying to the woman, there is monetary relief. You can start making a man to pay maintenance to you while you are somewhere with your children, because there is a proof that he can't stay with you. Move out. Let's make this man support you and your children while you are there, because you are removing the children before it becomes worse. The signs are there, and all of them. And you know what is said, Lynette, especially with the case I was talking to you about our scientist. She was talking to the friends, don't tell my parents, don't tell my sister. I will tell them once I'm out. But the signs were there even to the mother. I see that my daughter is not herself. When the mother is asking, no, all is well, Mama, we're going to come and visit. She will come with the same man who murdered him and pretend as if everything was well. I am saying to our victim of gender-based violence, get out of that place while you can. It is not, even these days, it's not even to say people, what will people say? Everybody's going through whatever. You'll be a hero by living than to die in that situation. Those are the topics that I'm having with the girls. You know, even today, I'm still talking with the girls that were victims in that birthday rapist. They are now wives of somebody. We still talk, you know. Mama, I tell him that, listen, yeah, you are not going to do that to me. That was an empowerment that happened 10 years ago. But now that I'm a wife of somebody, I know that I'm not supposed to be treated like this.
And their daughters see them.
Exactly.
That is
Exactly.
the empowerment we're talking about.
Exactly.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I admire you so much for what you've done. And can I give you a hug?
Oh,
You
thank
are
you
an
so much.
absolutely awesome lady.
Sorry.
We both are. Let me give you a hug on this while we sit to sit in. And it was absolutely awesome to meet